Hi everybody, welcome back to Home Life 365. I wanted to do a follow-up video today on preparing your pantry on a budget and food preparedness. In a previous video, I have already recorded weeks 1 through 8. I will put a link to that in the cards at the top. If you've not already watched that one, I would suggest you go back and start there. It starts you out building your pantry and preparing your staple items. This week, I want to focus on weeks 9 through 12 of preparing your pantry, and I want to focus this time on having ready-to-eat foods or foods that are very easy to prepare in case you have electrical outage or something that you have an easy meal that you can just open a can and heat a little and eat. So I will get started. Previously, I had discussed the importance of building your pantry, and with inflation the way it is, I think now that most people are starting to understand better than they did before. In March, we had 8.5% inflation. In April, we had 8.3% inflation, and the numbers were just released for May and came in at 8.6% inflation. So you can definitely see a pattern emerging. And even if you're not preparing for a disaster, it's a good idea to go ahead and prepare your pantry and keep it well stocked just to fight inflation. If you can buy it at today's prices, I can almost guarantee it's going to be better than what you would pay a month or two down the road. So if you're not familiar with how we did this the last time, I'll just run through this real quick. I have created 4 weeks of shopping lists based on a $2.50 budget, a $5 budget, and a $10 budget. And these prices are based on my local Walmart here in East Tennessee. And it's also based on a sales tax percentage of 9.75%. That's what I have here locally. And these prices at Walmart were effective. They're good as of yesterday, July 1st, 2022. So, as I said, I want to focus on easy to fix or ready to eat meals because I just know how important it is to have those things in your pantry. So, on a $2.50 per week budget, for week 1, what I would suggest buying is a 1 pound box of spaghetti noodles and 1 jar of pasta sauce. And these are great value brands, are what I base the price on, unless the list says specifically that it's something else. So the spaghetti and pasta sauce would come to $2.40 plus tax would be at $2.63. So that's a few cents over the $2.50, but $2.50 is not going as far as it used to. So week 2, I would suggest you buy 1 can of chunky soup. And if you don't mind the Walmart brand, you can pick that up a little bit cheaper. I actually base this price on the Campbell's Chunky brand soup. So on week 2, that would be $2.48. On week 3, 1 can of Van Camp's chili with beans and 1 can of a great value condensed soup. Almost everyone can eat a condensed soup and like at least one of them. You can get a tomato soup or chicken noodle or cream of mushroom. And I know the sodium can be high in these, and I know some people are going to say, well, I just can't eat that. But remember, we're putting this up in case of an emergency, in case there's a power outage and you can't cook a meal. So just understand that I'm not suggesting that you eat these things every day if you don't want to. I'm just saying that in case of an emergency, it's something nice to have on hand. And week 4, I have 1 can of Chef Boyardee, any type that you want, ravioli or spaghetti or beefaroni, and 2 cans of a great value condensed soup. And week 4 total will be $2.63. So if you followed along with weeks 1 through 8 and are now working on 9 through 12, here is a list of all of the items that you would have stored in your pantry in case of an emergency or just to fight off inflation. And you can see the list is growing. It's getting a lot more substantial in the items that you have in your pantry. Now, if you have a $5 a week budget to work with, the things that I would suggest here, and also, by the way, as in the past video, I have done this, so hopefully you can screenshot it or jot these items down for the week if you're actually following along to get these items. So week one, start off again with a pound of spaghetti noodles and a jar of pasta sauce. And we can add to that 1 can of the Van Camp's chili with beans. And if you like another brand, by all means, get what you like. I will say, as I've said in the past, don't ever stock your pantry with items that you know you or your family will not eat. Don't waste money. Be sure to fill in with what you will eat. So week two, I have 2 cans of chunky soup, and your total would be $4.96. Week three, another can of the Van Camp's chili with beans, and 5 cans of Great Value condensed soup, and your total for that week would be $5.03. And week four, 3 cans of Chef Boyardee and a can of Great Value condensed soup, which would be a total of $4.72. Now keep in mind, if your sales tax is different than mine, your totals are going to be different than mine. So if you've followed along week 1 through 8, and now you're working on weeks 9 through 12, at the end of 12 weeks, here's a list of what your pantry would consist of. And this is a great solid start for stocking your pantry, because you have your staples, and you have rice and beans and vegetables and flour and cornmeal and sugar and tuna and chicken, and now you're adding the convenience foods of spaghetti and spaghetti sauce and chunky soups and Chef Boyardees and condensed soups and chilies that you can just open the can and eat if there were really an emergency and you had no power and no way of heating up any food. So moving on to a $10 a week budget, and by far this is of course going to stock your pantry a lot faster than any of the other budgets, because you can do it twice as much at a time, or even 4 times as much. So on week 1, I have 2 1-pound boxes of spaghetti noodles, 2 jars of pasta sauce, 2 cans of Chef Boyardee, and 3 cans of the Great Value condensed soups, and that would be a total of $9.90. On week 2, I have 4 cans of chunky soup. On week 3, I have again 2 1-pound boxes of spaghetti and 2 jars of spaghetti sauce, 2 cans of Van Camp's chili, and 1 can of Great Value condensed soup. And that would be a total of $9.59. Week 3 and week 4 is a good opportunity. If your sales tax is lower than mine and it's not 9.75%, you can absolutely add another can of the Great Value condensed soup and have an extra can in your pantry and still stay right around the $10 mark. So for week 4, 2 cans of Chef Boyardee, 2 cans of Great Value condensed soup, and 3 cans of Van Camp's chili with beans, and that would be $9.53. So again, a 58-cent can of soup if your sales tax is lower. So at the end of 12 weeks, here's the list of items you would have in your pantry, and this is a solid start. You can make bread. You can have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. There's tuna. There's chicken. You've got 20 pounds of beans and 22 pounds of rice. And if you have the ability to cook and heat food, these cans of chunky soup would make a great meal if you cook some rice and have it over it. Make some cornbread to have with your Van Camp's chili. And those are good hearty meals for your family. So once again, if you've not watched the first 8 weeks, I will link that video up in the cards. And as a reminder, only buy foods that your family will eat. If I have things on this list that you know you will not eat, substitute something else in their place. And these lists can be customized. If you can afford $7.50 a week, then you can combine the $2.50 and $5. Or if you can do a $15 a week, you can combine the $10 and the $5, and you will just build your pantry faster. And as always, I hope you find these ideas helpful. I hope it makes you think. I think I hope you realize the importance of having food stocked in your pantry in case of an emergency, or like I said, just to beat the inflation, because it doesn't appear that it's going to be going away anytime soon. And I hope you'll go back and watch the first video if you haven't already. And if you like this video, I hope you'll hit the like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, I hope you have a great day.